We're working with about 315 ingredients in the menu. The mashuas, the ocas, oyucos, different colors, the barks, the coca leaves. You're trying 315 ingredients in one experience. And probably 70% of them, you've never tried them before. So that's quite unique. Cambo seeds, different varieties of corn. What is happening here, I think, goes beyond what you expect that happens in a restaurant. And that's fun for us. Here we are fermenting different ingredients from Cusco, like fermented corn. We're just experimenting here. What's gonna happen with this, I don't know. But it's gonna be fun anyway. It has to be unique. It has to be very different to what you've ever experienced in your life. It has to be something that you remember, not for only 1 year, I mean like for 20 years. Central is a restaurant that talks about biodiversity. We set experiences based on the altitudes of Peru, our territory. Talking about flavor, it's quite diverse what we find here in Peru. Chilies, tubers, starches, corn, fruits coming from the jungle, lots of seafood. So everything is quite like a melting pot happening. Most of the plants that we're getting from different parts of Peru, as you can see, they're very colorful and nice. We're using them for the liquids, for the infusions. And here we stop because we do a brief introduction about the ingredients that you want to try. We're going to use all these different corn. This is called diversity of corn. We're using purple corn here. Red corn, dry the skin of the corn, and then we burned a bit, see? It's a bit burned. This is called kiwicha and Andean grain. They are called pseudo cereals. So they've been just boiled. Then sweet potato leaves. You see the dish? And when you try, it's like you find a new taste, new flavors, new aromas that supposedly you don't get when you try corn. So basically today we're prepping for the service for lunch. Like we gotta be ready in about 2 hours. Yeah, it's dehydrating the crystals of the plants that we had in our garden. This is pure liquid coming from the plants and the water. It gets quite sweet and bitter. Every single thing that we do has to make sense. That goes beyond if it's delicious and tasty and if it's like, if we are following the protocol. No, it's about is it very emotional? If you put a lot of emotion, you're adding another level of flavor. Tócatelo el fuego, no me queme. No, apágalo. ¿Tiene salsa ahí?
El plato dice oyuco, racacha, cañigua.
There's so much biodiversity here in Peru. Our territory is like a wrinkled paper, where you see we have a very rich coast. Then we have the Andes. So the Andes kind of cross our territory, and then you have to pass to the Amazon. So all these very diverse microclimates, they have their own seasonalities. So that's why it's so rich. Here we're getting ingredients. We're kind of chopping, cleaning raw materials like this. It's a bag that comes from the Amazon. And you see, I don't know if you are able to check how much kind of gelatin we have here. Yeah, it smells like coffee. Okay, he's gonna boil the barks. And we're gonna obtain the mucilage, this gelatin. So this is quite new. We actually know who is producing this, who is picking these barks. So yeah, everything has to come from a source that we know. It has no sense if we just add something. We'll be cheating, our concept. Now we're using like 100% of Peruvian ingredients. We know who's producing our food, we know who is producing our plates, who's working on the ceramics. I'm gonna say about 6 years ago, we stopped using ingredients that were coming from abroad. A few years ago, we stopped using ingredients that we had no idea they were coming from. We have all these pseudo cereals, all these Andean grains, all these different tubers and potatoes. So why not using the starches from all these ingredients? If I want to thicken something, I have a lot of ingredients. We don't use any sugar in the restaurant. There's no sugar. We do reductions of fruits. They're very, very sweet. So why not just using them instead of using sugar? Yeah, this is clay. You know, they look like rocks. We saw one Andean community eating potatoes covered by clay, and the clay was edible. We're amazingly surprised about seeing people eating clay. You know, it has some medicinal purposes. So they were eating clay as a medicine. The Chaco clay, for me, was a nice discovery. We have a few plants like this coffee bean, the whole plant of coffee. What we have to do is we have to ferment this, then we have to dry it and roast it, and then we do coffee with this. This is Mater Iniciativa. So Mater Iniciativa is a research arm of Central. Well, Mater Iniciativa was created like 6 years ago. My sister and I, we did this work of traveling and visiting different places that we've never seen before. Of course, we need translators, linguists, anthropologists, and a whole group of people working on different fields. They help us a lot to understand how these local communities, how they work, what they want. We're working now on cataloging ingredients, which is quite amazing. I mean, we have a whole range of ingredients that we had no idea they exist. We have no idea that they were even edible, and now we're using them. So we need to have some information for us and for whoever is coming. Here you see all these different elements, different seasonings, Amazonian beans, different leaves from different trees, peppers, herbs, aromatics, fruits, dehydrated seeds, different cacaos, different quinoas, you know. 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, we had no chance to do something like this. You know, time changed. Well, these are the Amazonian tubers. We're drying them out, we're cooking them, but very, very slowly. So they're gonna get like a nice aroma. People in Lima don't know much about this tuber. It's called dale dale from the Amazon. I think our job is to find different ways to cook it. We truly believe that we just cook, but we have to cook with the people. And the people has the knowledge. Outside in Cusco, outside in the Amazon, in the jungle. So we gotta go there. That's why I have to go like once a week to these places. And that's why we have the teams working there right now, in the jungle, and in the Amazon, and in the Andes. Some ingredients, they were just about to getting lost in the jungle. I mean, this is the very strong cacao. But this is not native. This is our cacao, the native one. So we need to protect this one. But this is more about our heritage. This is more about us. So we're working on, you know, how this one can beat this one, kind of, or how they can, you know, live together. In the end, of course, gastronomy and the restaurant is a good platform to show this. Yeah, but Mater Iniciativa has an agenda which is different. But we work very close with Central. We serve healthy food, but what we do is not healthy sometimes. So we live full of contradictions. While working the crazy hours, the amounts of coffee that we drink, and you know, the level of concentration on just some specific things, I mean, sometimes it's not healthy, you know. Yeah, this is my office, you know, it's a mess. Most of the time I'm in the kitchen. Sometimes I sleep here. You see, yeah. books about potatoes, you know, Psicología Positiva for Dummies, how to be a better father. Okay, this is the suppliers entrance for Central, and this is my house. So this is home for me, yeah. For me, it's it's very quick to go, to sleep. I have a quick escape. Getting a flight to Cusco at 4 in the morning and coming back for the night service here to Lima. It's pretty much too much. I do enjoy it. I wouldn't change it. That's it. I mean, yeah, you need this level of obsession, just to be committed to work, sometimes crazy hours. But we create this ecosystem where we are all the time together, searching for new ingredients. Here, basically, we clean the water, so we have a huge room for the water system. And it's nice sparkling water. This water is coming from the Andes. This water has to be, in the perfect way that we need it. In order to have something special, you need to work on lots of details. You cannot take for granted things that are very, very common, like water. And of course, we do have to be very strict, committed to our work, committed as a team to the food we serve. And not just for the guests, just for us. It's important for us to be sure that we are doing something which is good. And not only good for us, also good for the people and for the communities that we work with. It's a red tuna. It's a fruit that we get from the cactus. It's full of spins, right?
Yeah. I still got some in my hands.
Yeah.
I didn't clean them well.
Yeah. At Central, we do 40 people for one service. Only 40 people. You have an experience for 4 hours, 5 hours, and you have to enjoy it 5 hours, We have to make an impact. At one point, you are not feeling that you are in your comfort zone. People is feeling like they're getting lost, things that you've never tried before. But our work is to make these things familiar. Is it the fruit of the cactus? The cactus, you see this red fruit? So we make an emulsion with that fruit. Thank you. If we want to do something different, we have to think beyond what the restaurant is. That gives you the possibility to think that you are provoking changes not only for the guests, the team, myself. You are provoking changes in our geography, in the Andean communities, with the people that we work with. And actually, we see that. I think, if I have a mission, it's probably about creating teams. These teams, they will be, knowing more. I mean, it's endless. There's no way I'll be able to know everything that is happening. I don't have access. But the teams that we are creating, they are doing this job, and it will be happening in 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. It's funny because I've always wanted to be a designer, but I didn't know what to design. And now I think we are designing new experiences where there are multidisciplinary things. It's difficult to explain this in words. I mean, for me, it's easy to explain this in the plate, cooking. This is my thing.